புதிய நேயர்களுக்கு வணக்கம். ஸ்போர்ட்ஸ் டேரி நிகழ்ச்சியில் உங்களை அன்போடு வரவேற்கிறேன். ஒவ்வொரு வாரமும் ஸ்போர்ட்ஸ் டேரி நிகழ்ச்சியில் வந்து பல்வேறு விளையாட்டு சார்ந்த விளையாட்டு வீரர் கோச்சஸ்லாம் நம்ம மீட் பண்ணிட்டு வரோம். அந்த வகையில் இன்றைக்கி நம்ம சந்திக்கக்கூடிய விளையாட்டு வீரர் யாருன்னா, அவர் வந்து ஒரு கோச். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து ஒரு பிளேயராக இருந்து அப்போ கோச்சாக வந்திருக்காரு. இவர் வந்து நம்ம இந்திய நாட்டு கோச் கிடையாது, இவர் ஒரு அயல் நாட்டுக்காரர், ஃபாரினர். அதனால் இன்றைக்கி நான் கொஸ்டின்ஸ் கூட வந்து அவர்கிட்ட வந்து இங்கிலீஷில் தான் நான் கேட்க போகிறேன். இவரை பற்றி சொல்லணும்னா, இவர் நிறைய டீம்ஸ் வந்து கோச் பண்ணியிருக்காரு. இவர் எந்த ஸ்போர்ட்னா நம்ம கிரிக்கெட்டில் வந்து நிறைய டீம்ஸை கோச் பண்ணியிருக்காரு. எஸ்பெஷலி 1996 ஸ்ரீலங்கா வந்து வேர்ல்ட் கப் வின் பண்ணாங்க. அந்த வேர்ல்ட் கப் வின்னிங் டீமோட கோச் அப்படின்னே சொல்லலாம். அதுக்கப்புறம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா பங்களாதேஷ் கோச் பண்ணியிருக்காரு, பாகிஸ்தான் கோச் பண்ணியிருக்காரு, ஜிம்பாப்வே அண்ட் ஐபிஎல் வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா கேகேஆர் அண்ட் இங்கிலாண்டில் இருக்க கவுண்டி டீம் லாங்கஷயர், இந்த டீம்ஸ் எல்லாம் நம்ம கோச் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காரு. இப்போது கரண்ட்டாக வந்து இந்தியன் டேலண்ட்ஸை கோச் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காரு, கேரளா டீமை கோச் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காரு. ஸோ இஸ் நன் அதர் தேன் மிஸ்டர் டேவ் வாட்மோர்.
Cheers.
Hi, Mr. Dave Watmore.
Hey Dinesh.
Yeah, very pleasure to meet you here.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here. Nice to meet you.
And I just want to first congratulate on behalf of DD Pudige TV that you have been here in India for so long recently and developing the young Indian cricketers and developing the young talents, spotting the talents.
Yeah, no, it's been good. India is a terrific destination, along with so many other people who have come here and enjoyed the country. I certainly do. And finally, I'm doing a little bit of development work, having finished international at the moment. So my job and my work is very busy.
Okay.
With my own academy here in Chennai for 6 months of the year, and the other 5 months with the Kerala Ranji cricket team, first class team, which allows me to keep my hand in team coaching. It's very busy but very enjoyable.
First of all, I just want to ask you, you are born in Sri Lanka and brought up in Australia and went on to play Australia for 7 test matches and 1 ODI. Though it was a little career as a player, and after that you have been in coaching for so many years. So how was this journey?
Very long, a very interesting one, but you're right, only 7 test matches. But I just didn't have the mental level of intensity to last longer. I had terrific amount of ability, but just found that at that last level, international level, I was found wanting, which makes me a better coach because I understand how difficult it is for players to reach the high level. So that's helped me in coaching, and I'm so pleased to be able to remain in the game, having, as you said, coached all those countries.
Almost 3 decades, 30 years, from 1998-89 you started coaching. So you have seen lot many generation of players in various countries.
I have.
So how is your take on that generation of players?
Well, generally players are not all lot different. They all want to improve themselves. They all want to get better. They all want to win. So there are a lot of similarities from country to country. The systems change. The domestic system obviously is a big difference. But essentially, cricketers are cricketers. They really do want to know where they are. They want to know what they're doing because they want to get better. So, from that point of view, it's been reasonably similar. But certainly, the cultures change from country to country. And it's a system that you've got to get used to pretty quick, otherwise it becomes very difficult.
Okay, tell us about that 1996 World Cup journey. Not many expected Sri Lanka to win the World Cup, and especially beating India in the semi-final. So how was your mindset and feeling during that time?
Well, it was, at the start of the tournament we had some problems because Australia and West Indies refused to play in Sri Lanka. So we got some points there, and our first match in fact was against Zimbabwe. or Kenya, I'm not sure, Zimbabwe and Kenya. And we played both of them at home, won as we were expected to win. But our first major victory really was against India in the round team at New Delhi. It wasn't until after that match that I thought, I think we can go really deep in this competition. It's the players, of course, that, the ones that go out and do the hard work. Every coach I speak to, and I've worked with, before I became, a first class or international cricket coach, I had the luxury of being trained as a full-time coach in the Institute of Sport in Melbourne. So that's another 4 years where I worked with a lot of gold medal Olympic sports coaches.
Apart from cricket?
Ah, yes. Yeah, I learned a whole lot of things over 4 years. So, it was with that confidence that enabled me to tackle, the important sort of position of international coaching. So
and
that was good.
Sri Lanka was playing 1996 World Cup, and especially after 1982, Sri Lanka was got the test match status, and till 96 they were upcoming country for the cricket, and not many expected. The man behind that Sri Lankan team to lift the World Cup, especially you. So not many expected. So how do you develop that team, especially the likes of Arjuna Ranatunga, Sanath Jayasuriya, Kaluvitharan, Arvind De Silva?
And the list goes on, doesn't it? I mean, I just was one part of the jigsaw puzzle. There's no question. As I said, all these international gold medal winning coaches we all agree it's the players that make the coach. But still, you need to be able to to create an environment, a very positive environment for performance. You need to do your bit. So we just try to structure it as much as possible, try and look at opposition and bring in different little techniques that was lacking in those days, which now, the analyst knows everything. But there was a duty of care. It wasn't my place really to go and tell Aravinda De Silva, hey mate, you need to get your foot closer to the ball, bend the knee, transfer the weight, that sort of thing. I mean, he is a master at it. So I tended to sort of shy away a little bit from the technical part from those big batsmen. They're very good batsmen. I spent more of the technical time with the younger ones, but really tried to create a very happy environment from which everyone felt comfortable to go out there and just enjoy their game. And enjoy they did, It was just a wonderful feeling over that 6 weeks.
And one more thing I just want to ask you, you have coached many underdogs. So are there any specific reason to choose the underdogs, especially Bangladesh, Zimbabwe? And are you interested in training the team with young talents, young bunch of players? That is your personal interest?
Well, it is, I guess, over the years. I didn't look for it, it just sort of happened that way. Opportunities come when you least expect it, and opportunities happen to come from countries that were a little bit down, and I accepted challenges. There are challenges with even teams that are on top of the table, but still I accepted those challenges and was able to impart some knowledge and create a good environment, and we started to show results even with teams like Bangladesh, who at the time was rock bottom and hadn't won a game for a long time. So
you coached Bangladesh between 2003 to 2007.
Yes.
Especially there was a major upset they have given for South Africa, Australia, and especially for India during 2007 World Cup. So because of that match, India was not able to through to the second
round.
That's right. So what was your feeling during that time?
Well, I was very pleased because the team won. We actually prepared extremely well. We were in the West Indies 3 weeks earlier playing some good, tough games. We trained well. We knew the conditions. And the conditions that prevailed in that World Cup match, we totally understood. We lost the toss, but still bowled first, and we were able to keep the opposition, India, to a total that we could get, and we won pretty easily in the end. And that turned out to be the match that India, put them out of the Super 8s. But Bangladesh went through. And it was a terrific achievement for that country. And then the first game in the Super 8s, we beat South Africa, and that was a big game as well.
earlier I introduced that you have coached various teams, various countries. Now you have spotted Kerala state. This is the first time you are coaching for a state.
Yes.
What inspired you to take as a coaching job for Kerala state?
Well, it was a case of having the opportunity. My time here at the Sri Ramachandra University, and created the Watmore Centre for Cricket, where we are very busy during the school holidays, which is the non-domestic season time. So I had an opportunity to, to think about, entering a state team as a coach with Kerala. I was invited to do that, and it worked out well with, with Sri Ramachandra, the university, Centre for Sports Science, and away we went. So we had a very good first year with the Ranji Trophy performance. The first time they've reached the quarterfinals in it's like an elite tournament.
Apart from Kerala, like how do you see the current Indian side?
Well, the current Indian team is very strong. I mean, there's a lot of competition now for young players to do well. You have to do well to make the national team. So, there is a good A-team structure. The BCCI have done the right thing in appointing Rahul Dravid, who's a very experienced player himself, and one who is looking after the youth cricket, under 19s, as well as the A-team. So, he's in a position to impart his knowledge, and boys are, very lucky to have him, and they need to have consistent performances to be able to put pressure on the senior team. And mind you, there has to be a vacant slot available. You can make 100 after 100, but if the national team's doing really well, the door's not open, sort of thing.
Okay, and what is your take on Virat Kohli's leadership and his aggression, as also MSD, his experience?
Well, Virat Kohli is, he's taken to captaincy like a duck to water. I mean, his performances, if anything's got better, and he provides the type of leadership that everyone wants to follow. He's still learning, I think, in the job, and he'll only get better. But more importantly, he's very strong in his views. He backs it up with performance, and he's got the rest of the guys in the dressing room, be it the support staff or the players, that he's backing him.
And MSD's experience?
Well, MSD, yeah, nice to have him in the one-day team. He's no longer playing the longer version, but what a player. I mean, I would want him in my team. Virat Kohli certainly does, Ravi Shastri does. You just can't replace that sort of experience and the ability to win a game. You don't always win a game every game, but I tell you what, and there's that other percentage of something that you can't measure, that the experience that he brings in the dressing room when the other youngsters are sitting around him. You just don't know how much that is worth. It's worth a heck of a lot.
How can a player maintain a fitness from the 20s till 30s?
Yeah, I know. It comes with a lot of discipline. It comes with not just the ability to physically work hard, but it also to be disciplined in your intake. So I can only imagine that players who reach that age and who looks really trim and strong have that discipline to be able to prepare themselves as well as they can for performance at the international level.
And you coach the KKR side. Now the skipper for KKR is Mr. Dinesh Karthik, and recently the Nidas Trophy has concluded. Dinesh Karthik has played a match-winning innings, and that match actually Bangladesh was in the top, and everyone expected that Bangladesh will win the match and win the trophy. And last ball, Dinesh Karthik hits the six and lift the trophy. Is that the six change his career, and what is your thought on that?
Look, to be honest with you, I thought that Bangladesh was going to win it, but you just cannot take anything for granted in cricket, as we've seen evidence of it yet again when Karthik, played beautifully and whacked that ball for six. I think it was almost in the script that that's the way it's going to finish, and it was a wonderful finish to a pretty decent tournament as well. And I think the best team in the end won the Nidas Cup.
Okay, next year 2019, 50 over World Cup is coming in England.
Yeah.
So who are the favourites to win the World Cup?
just a bit early, you know. Like there's a number of teams who you will all agree, you know, have the potential to do that, right? England, the home team, India definitely. Then you got, you know, the Pakistan team who did well in the Champions League there, Champions Trophy. They've also fancied themselves. Australia you can't write off. So there's 4 for a start. And if West Indies happen to, you know, to really pull their digit out and play well, you know, they've got the potential to knock over oppositions as well. And then there's New Zealand.
Okay.
Wow, you know, like it's you know, it's just one after the other. It's just a matter of, I think, being able to judge who's playing well at the time and who can keep that momentum going.
As a coach, you have coached various players. Obviously, coach is the boss of the team, and sometimes there will be a rift and spat between coaches and the captain. We often seen in many countries, and all the countries, and recently also we had a scenario on that. So the rift between coaches and the captain, it was happening occasionally. So what is your thought on that?
Yeah, look, the coaches, I don't quite agree with coach being the boss. Certainly the coach has a very important role to play in the preparation. The game, the way it's played as such, the captain has a lot of responsibility in terms of the leadership and the bossing around, to use your word. So, you know, it's a case of each of us understanding what our roles are, and then respecting each other and giving some feedback. You know, the captain might be able to come up and make a really good suggestion about our training, which is my area. I'd love it, you know. And the captain also would appreciate a good piece of feedback, what's happening during the game, which is his area, his domain. So it's important that the two have a very good relationship.
As you have many years of coaching experience, I just want to ask you one question. A team should appoint that country sports player as a coach, or a foreign coach is better?
No, I think the country should appoint, any team should appoint the best. And there are certain types of people you look for. I mean, if there's a team that's struggling, that's developing, then there's a certain coach that fits that. If the team that's on top of the tree that's doing really well, there's a different coach that fits that. So it depends on you know, what the state of the play is with the team that you're looking for the coach to coach. But it's the best person rather than, I don't care if they're bloody, you know, yellow, black, white, doesn't matter. It's the best person for the job.
Okay, in India right now, Ravi Shastri is coaching the senior side.
Yeah.
So how do you see his performances in last few years?
Very good, very good. Ravi, you know, I think Ravi complements that the group extremely well. He gets on well with the captain. As I said, it's very important to have that relationship. He's played the game at a very high standard, so that's a bonus as well. And he commands the respect from everybody, including media people and the whole country. So I think it's a good fit. It's working well. Not an easy time coming up. They've had a fairly tough time in the test matches in South Africa. Did well in the one days.
About
now
England?
Now they're going to England. Virat Kohli now has got a month of competition there with Surrey before that international starts. So he's done the right thing. You know, so you know, that's another test, and after that, I think Australia as well. You know, it's going to be a fairly important next few months for the Indian cricket team, but one which I'm sure they'll come out with their heads held high.
After T20 comes in 2006, 2005, even 2007 World Cup T20, then 2008 IPL was started. This IPL is continuing for last 10 years, and how does this IPL is influencing the domestic cricket and the bunch of young players to showcase their talents to come into the senior side?
IPL cricket has accelerated the development of local Indian cricketers, no question. For 10 years now, this is the 11th year, the 11th edition of the tournament that's provided a pathway or an opportunity for young Indian players to learn quicker because they get to play with and against some really big international names.
And last year,
And that's accelerated everything.
2017, Indian Women's World Cup happened. Indian women's team reached the final and they lost to England. So, what is your take on Indian women's team players like Mithali Raj, Jilan Goswami?
Both of those girls was at the NCA when I was there as well, and so I've known them. They've been good players then, but over time they've got the experience. They've obviously stayed fit, and with their skill to back all that up, they're able to become very good and consistent performances for the team. Not just them, there's a few others as well who've done really well for the team that's enabled them to play off in the final of the World Cup. Is not an easy thing to do. And it's unfortunate they lost, but that's what I think, the experience that they got from that tournament will hold them in very good stead for the future.
And recently, off late, sports technology and sports science has developed a lot in all the sports, especially in cricket. Now the matches are being analyzed, they are taking statistical information, video analysis. Video analyst will be there in the team, helping the coaches and the teams in terms of deriving the strategy, game plan. So how this helps as a coach for you to make any technique?
Well, I'm all in favour of anybody who can come up and say, look, this is the way you bowl to him, this is how you get him out, plan A, plan B is this, plan C is that, and to go through the top 7 or 8 players in an opposition team. And you're getting a little bit more of these types of analysts who are able to do that. And the actual position of the cricket analyst has evolved very quickly, and it's become a really a specialised area in itself. There are lots of others who just record the game and they plot it and you can see replays, but more and more a good analyst is really worth his weight in gold.
Okay, finally I just want to ask you one question. What more the world cricket expects from Watmore?
I don't know. Look, I certainly reached a stage in my life where I'm looking back a little bit and enjoying what I've done. I'm doing more and more in the development now with younger guys, young players that I've got here in the academy, Watmore Academy. I'm also keeping a finger on the pulse when it comes to team coaching. You can never say never for anything, Dinesh. Opportunities come up, then you have to give due consideration. But I've done this for 30 years. My kids have grown up now. My wife of 37 years, she wants to spend a bit more time. Maybe she'll come and join me rather than me quit what I'm doing. I still love what I'm doing. I still love packing my bag, going on a plane. I like to come home a bit sooner than I did before, but I still get a buzz out of all that. And my health is good, so why not? Keep it going.
How is your Chennai life recently?
Chennai, people talk about the Khatri in May. Right? Okay, we've just entered May, but I'll tell you what, a week ago it was just as hot, and that was April. But I would much prefer the heat than the cold, so I don't mind at all.
Okay, so far we have discussed a lot of things about your experiences on various players, and we have discussed about various technical aspects and some of the incidents about the match, especially 1996 World Cup, and about Virat Kohli, MSD, Kapil Dev. Everything we have discussed, and so this half an hour I don't know how it went, and I have learnt a lot from you, and it's very nice meeting you, and it's a pleasure also meeting a coach like you, because it made me time. So
thank you
very much for your time, as well as on behalf of DD Podigai TV, I want to congratulate you as well as for your future career, and I hope I will meet you again for another program.
That makes 2 of us. Cheers,
Thanks,
Dinesh.
Mr.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Didi.
ஒரு பிளேயர் ஆரம்பிக்கும் போது அவர் சாதாரண ஒரு பிளேயராக தான் வருவாங்க. அதுக்கப்புறம் அவர் விளையாட ஒரு 15 வருஷம் 20 வருஷம் கழிச்சு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அவர் ஒரு சாம்பியன் பிளேயராகவும் லெஜெண்டாகவும் மாறுவாங்க. இப்போ எனக்கு பின்னாடி பார்த்தீங்கன்னா பெரிய பெரிய லெஜெண்ட்ஸ்லாம் இருக்காங்க. வெங்கட் ராகவன், ராகுல் டிராவிட், சௌரவ் கங்குலி, முகமது அசாருதீன், கபில் தேவ், அது மட்டும் இல்லாமல் பிஷன் சிங் பேடி, சையத் கிர்மானி, இந்த மாதிரியான லெஜெண்ட்ஸ்லாம் உருவாகிறதுக்கு கண்டிப்பாக ஒரு கோச் வந்து இம்பார்ட்டண்ட்டாக இருந்திருப்பாங்க. இவங்க வந்து ஆரம்பத்தில் ஒரு பிளேயராக தான் ஆரம்பிச்சிருப்பாங்க. ஒரு கோச்சோட இன்ஃப்ளூயன்ஸ் வந்து கரெக்டாக ஒரு பிளேயரை வந்து கண்டிப்பாக மோல்டு பண்ணோம். அதுக்கு பெர்ஃபெக்ட் எக்ஸாம்பிள் நம்ம டேவ் வாட்மோர்னு சொல்லலாம். இந்த கிரிக்கெட்டர்ஸ் நம்ம பற்றி பேசுகிறோம். கிரிக்கெட்டர்ஸ் பின்னாடி பிஹைண்ட் த ஸ்க்ரீன் கோச்சஸும் இவ்வளோ பார்ட்டிசிபேட் பண்ணியிருக்காங்கன்றது ஒரு பெருமைக்குரிய விஷயம். இன்றைக்கி ஸ்போர்ட்ஸ் டேரி நிகழ்ச்சி இதோடு நிறைவடைகிறது. மீண்டும் ஒரு ஸ்போர்ட்ஸ் டேரி நிகழ்ச்சியில் உங்களை வந்து சந்திக்கிறேன். அதுவரை நன்றி, வணக்கம்.